Hello again, Year 12. This is the second lesson of the week, and today we're focusing on looking at model answers for the Reagan part of our specification for paper 1. This is the AS Section C AO3 mark scheme. Now, this is the generic mark scheme of how all Reagan essays would be assessed on the AS mark scheme. Now, the A-level mark scheme is very, very similar, and that's something we'll look into in the coming months. But as you can see here, this is very, very different to the AO1 mark scheme that we have been using for our essays thus far. I'd like everyone to look at level 4 of the mark scheme, marks 17 to 20, and you'll see 3 bullet points there. First one, demonstrates understanding of the extracts, analysing the issues of interpretation raised by comparison. Integrates issues raised by extracts with those from knowledge to discuss the views. Most of the relevant aspects of the debate will be discussed, although treatment of some aspects may lack depth. Discusses evidence in order to reach a supported overall judgment. Discussion of points of view in the extracts demonstrates understanding of the issues of matters of interpretation. These are the hallmarks of a excellent level 4 essay, but I understand that that terminology is not necessarily designed for students, it's for examiners. So I've broken it down a bit. And in order to get level 4, I think we need to do the following things. So this is just a little tick list to help us. Firstly, you need to reference the interpretations in both the conclusion, introduction, and every single paragraph. Never forget that you are writing about these interpretations. You have to integrate your own knowledge and your own details and info from into the interpretations. You need to sustain an argument all the way through. So it's your view on the interpretations, your view on Reagan's presidency. You need a range of specific evidence to develop points from the context. You must compare and contrast the two interpretations. You need to view the evidence in the historical context. So what's happening at the time that Reagan was making these decisions and implementing these policies. And you have to provide a clear judgment directly on the question. We've done lots of work on that previously. On your homework, you'll need both of these slides to help you, the generic mark scheme and this section C feedback. That'll be really important for the main activity of today's lesson. Before we get to the main activity of today's lesson, I'd like us to just build on some knowledge from prior lessons. And first of all, I'd like you to look at Reagan's legacy. I'd like you to try and condense some information into a post-it note or revision card on conservatism, revitalization, and the legacy left for President Bush and President Clinton. Once you've completed your post-it notes or revision card, really condensed information, crystallized juicy details, really condensed, I'd like you to highlight and color code perhaps where this links to the conservative aspect, links to revitalization, or Bush and Clinton links to either one of those subheadings and vice versa. So we're creating a foundation of knowledge in order to look at and engage in some model answers. I'd then like you to do that for Reagan and social policy, thinking mainly of African Americans, welfare, and other groups such as homosexuals and women during this time. So key detail, key information, and then color coded to show how that overlaps, interacts, links with other parts of the specification. So the first part of today's lesson is just making sure we have that foundation, that backbone of knowledge. And that's going to lead us on to being able to look at these model answers. You can see there, hilarious visual gag. There are some models there. Now, what I'd like you to do is, so you've read the generic mark scheme and the checklist that I've made and introduced at the start of this video. You're going to need them for this activity. Also attached on Show My Homework is a model answer from a student written last year, and also a student at Ashcroft, by the way, and also 2 interpretations. Look at the question that this student was asked, and first of all you're going to look at the interpretations. You're going to go through the process that you went through last lesson when you were analysing those interpretations. You're going to highlight, annotate, summarise each point of view. You're going to add in juicy details where appropriate that you can integrate and add on into each extract. So you're going to become an expert on these interpretations first and foremost. Then you're going to engage with the model answer. This is on Show My Homework, this is on the PowerPoint attached. If you can, highlight, underline and annotate every time the student reaches level 4 of the mark scheme or does something that is on the checklist that I've made at the start of this PowerPoint. If you can't print off, that is okay. Just make some notes and maybe quote the student when they are showcasing these skills. Once you've done that, looked at the interpretations and looked at the model answer, then I'd like you to write a brief paragraph explaining why this essay was so good. Got 18 out of 20. This student got an A at AS, an A star at A level. This is the quality work that you all can produce, and if you do as instructed, then absolutely with the right structure and the right framework, you can achieve those grades as well. That should take you quite some time. Really invest and really engage, and then you're going to finish this lesson and you're going to write yourself a must-do list. You might want to stick it on your notice board or above your laptop. A must-do list for when you write a Reagan interpretation essay. What is it that you have learned from this model answer? It could be 2 things, 3 things, 5 things. What are you going to incorporate into your own writing? What are you going to borrow from this student? Thank you very much. Please also look on Show My Homework for the homework for this week. Well done, Year 12. Excellent work as always.